full commission by enrolling individuals or referring individuals over to PACE. Does that sound something of interest to you? Yeah. You know, PACE has some amazing programs that can truly help your beneficiaries. And when you think about the disruption that is going to take place this year with the changes in election periods, there's a lot of opportunity to be able to connect your members with PACE to really bridge that gap. So I want to make sure that you have a full opportunity to hear the presentation that Amy is going to share with you. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Amy with PACE of Southeast Michigan.
Thank you all. So I'm going to talk fairly quickly because I want to get through the whole presentation. We do have a booth in the lobby area, so there are people there that can answer questions. Hopefully we may have a couple minutes for questions, but hopefully I'll say enough that you may not have too many questions. So again, my name is Amy Katz. I'm the Vice President of Strategic Growth for PACE Southeast Michigan. I do want to mention that PACE Southeast Michigan is in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties. I'll get much more in detail with that, but I do want to let you know that the current contract we have is for our PACE program only at this time, and it will extend to the other areas in the state. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that as well. So let's kick it off with what is PACE and what do we do and what does it stand for. So PACE is an acronym. PACE stands for Program of All-Inclusive Care for the Elderly. Basically, the overarching goal and program has to do with people age the best in their home, in the community. Nobody wants to live in a nursing home, right? And you'd want to stay in your own home with your people as long as possible, correct? Okay, well PACE helps people do that. So PACE is a national program. It was started in California. There's over 140 or 50 PACE programs in the country. We are one of them. We are one of 14 in Michigan. Michigan's almost the entire map of Michigan, not including the UP, is covered by a PACE program. Almost all of it. PACE Southeast Michigan is a nonprofit 501c3 corporation. The interesting thing about PACE and the difference, raise your hand if you know anything about PACE. Do you all know that we are the all-inclusive care provider and full insurer for every single person that's part of our program? So similar to some of the other programs you've heard, some Medicare dual special needs programs, Medicare dual D-SNPs programs, Medicare Advantage programs, whatever the case may be, those are health plans. Do they have additional benefits? Sure. But other people provide the care. We are all of that, plus the all-inclusive care provider. Specialists, everything. I'm going to go into greater detail, but I want to make sure you understand we are the health plan and program all wrapped into one. There's nothing else in the country there's no competition for us, okay? So we are fully at risk. We are paid by Medicare and Medicaid if somebody has both. If somebody only has Medicaid, that's fine too. There's eligibility for our program, which I'll get into. We are fully at risk. We are paid a per member per month amount per person from either Medicare and Medicaid or just Medicaid or just Medicare, and the person can private pay. And we are fully at risk. We have to manage all the cost of care with that money. Okay? So how does one qualify for PACE? There are 4 eligibility factors. The person must be 55 and older. They have to meet what's called nursing home level of care, which is described on my next slide. They must live in our zip code area. As I mentioned, we are in Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties. We have excluded about 5 cities that are closer to other PACE programs that we've given them. For example, Holly, Genesis PACE. Canton, Plymouth, Belleville, Huron Valley PACE. Just want to be clear on what I'm saying. But almost all of Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties are PACE Southeast Michigan. If someone lives in the zip code in those areas, they can enroll in our program. The person must be able to live in the community with the support of PACE to be safe. So, someone has dementia. They live with their daughter. The daughter works every day. the person is home alone, not safe. But they can enroll in PACE and come to our centers every day, so the daughter can go to work. I'll tell you what that looks like later. That same person, the daughter doesn't live with them. The person comes to our center every day. They go home at night with dementia. The daughter tucks them in and goes to her house. The person's not safe. But we don't do overnight care, so that person wouldn't be safe in the community even with our support, because we don't do overnight care. Okay? You'll get more and more as we go, you'll get it, okay? The nursing facility level of care determination is done with the use of an assessment. You do a referral, provide a referral to PACE for someone who might be interested. PACE then takes the referral, contacts the family, sets up an in-person home visit assessment with a nurse and a social worker that goes out to the home and does an assessment called the Nursing Facility Level of Care Determination Form, state mandated form. Form has sections on it that have areas that one only has to meet one of these areas. For the eligibility, you have to have all four. 55 and over, live in our service area, you can't just have one of those, you have to have all four of those. But for purposes of meeting eligibility for nursing home level of care, you only have to need help or have issues with one of these areas. So for example, short-term memory loss, difficulty with decision making, they would meet criteria. They don't have problems with that, but they have difficulty getting in and out of bed, on and off the toilet, in and out of a chair, etc. They are on dialysis. They have a continued need for a program like us, and they're on oxygen daily, and they have a continued need for our program. So you only have to meet one eligibility factor, and that's not decided until we go out to the home and do an assessment. Okay? So those are the 4 eligibility factors. You do not have to have Medicaid. You don't have to have Medicare to be in our program. But I'm going to talk to you about what it looks like if you do have it, and we have a different eligibility, Medicaid eligibility than traditional community Medicaid, which is very helpful, which I'll get to. Okay? Here's where our current 8 centers are. We have 2 in Detroit, 1 on the east side. Sorry, my phone is ringing and my watch is buzzing. We have 1 on the east side of Detroit, 1 on the northwest side of Detroit, Southfield, Dearborn, Sterling Heights, East Point, Pontiac, Clinton Township, and we're opening Waterford. We've had our state readiness review, we're just waiting for our approval. You know how that goes. They have 45 days, but we're ready tomorrow. What does it mean when I say PACE Center? So we're having 2 events, one on Monday and one on the 19th, 16 and 25. These are, we're going to open it up for tours. If you can't make either one of those, we're happy to do tours otherwise, but I do suggest that you come through and see it. Seeing is believing. All 8, soon to be 9 of these centers are very, very large, 25 to 35,000 square foot buildings. Inside each one of those centers is a day rooms, 3 or 4 day rooms. Activities, we serve breakfast and lunch. It's like a day program, right? There's a clinic with a full provider because we become the person's primary care physician and all-inclusive providers. There is offices because we become the person's collaborative care team. There's rehab, physical therapy, occupational therapy, life enrichment activities. We do laundry at the center if the person needs help with laundry. We have, by the way, we provide transportation to and from the center as much as people need, and to all medically necessary doctor's appointments, including dialysis. So I don't have to worry about that. We have dietitians, social workers, nurses, behavioral health people, behavioral health social workers, psychiatry, physicians, physician assistants, nurse practitioners, all on site. Dental, vision, hearing, and podiatry comes on site. Here's what I want to say to all of you. Now, I have been in my past and still have an active producer's license for my past life in a Medicare Advantage special needs plan, so I can kind of speak your language. I've been at PACE for over 11 years. Here's what I want to say. PACE is the best of all worlds because, yes, we have podiatry, kind of like some of the Medicare Advantage plans, offer these extra benefits. But here's what I also want to say about PACE. We can tweak benefits, so we have to offer everything, Medicare Parts A, B, D, all of Medicaid. We have to do everything that they do, but we can tweak how we do it. So, I'm going to give you a couple examples, bless you. Someone is a diabetic, someone's not a diabetic, and they want their toes cut from the podiatrist. Typically, you have to have be a diabetic to have the podiatrist cut your toenails and have it covered. Everybody gets their toenails cut from the podiatrist at our place. No nurses are allowed to cut toenails. Glasses, everybody gets glasses. You don't have to just have cataracts or glaucoma. You live in a home. As you age, we do everything we can to maintain you as you age in your home so that you can live till the end of your life at home. We have nursing assistants that come to the house and help with dressing, bathing, grooming, hygiene. They do light housekeeping and laundry. If you can't do that stuff, you can't really live at home. We have, if you're living at home and you start the program and you're ambulatory, or maybe you have a walker, which is ambulatory to me, you now have a stroke, and you have steps going in your home, we immediately alert our team and we put a ramp at your house. Usually within a couple of weeks, just so you know. We know that there's a huge delays with other potential Medicaids and all, So we tweak how we do things so that we can help the person age. Someone has congestive heart failure. As they're filling up with fluid, they're at risk. We'll buy them a scale so they can weigh themselves every day to monitor their fluid intake. No other health plan pays for that, right? Do we have an over-the-counter cash card? No. But do we pay for all over-the-counters? Yes. Do we have a formulary? No. What does that mean? They have a medication, we order it, we fill it, we deliver it. We deliver all meds every month to the person's door. We deliver all supplies, incontinence supplies, Band-Aids, the things that the over-the-counter cash cards pay for. We pay for all of that and we deliver it to the home. Do we pay for kitty litter, rent, food? No. Do we have a food program? Someone has food insecurities and they need food. We have like a Meals on Wheels program. You guys are familiar with Meals on Wheels? Well, we call it frozen meal food plan. Our dietitians will assess someone's need, and we will get them food. Okay? I'm trying to answer all the questions that I've been asked while we've been sitting there. And so, yes?
Specialists, let's say.
Okay, let's talk about specialists. So as the all-inclusive care provider, we have an enormous network. We must, by regulation, include any type of specialist that someone needs to see in our provider network. We arrange, authorize, and pay for the visit, and will transport the person if they have no transportation. We also will send an aide with them if their family can't go. It's an all-inclusive provider. So anything that somebody would need from a medical perspective with a provider, we must have, and we authorize it at the time of making the appointment. So all that prior authorization stuff, that doesn't happen. We make the appointment. So families don't even have to worry about that. No copays, no deductibles. This is what I wanted to say. You led me right into my next slide. If somebody has Medicaid eligibility, this program is no cost, no deductibles, no copays, no nothing. Medicaid eligibility to be in a PACE program in the state of Michigan is the slide you see. Usually, community Medicaid, the person's income can be around maybe $1,500-ish a month, and incomes, assets are the same, $2,000. The state's trying to raise it. We'll see if it happens. About $1,500, they're Medicaid eligible, right? We're all in the same room? We're all in agreement? And if they make over $1,500, $1,700, $1,800, they're not Medicaid eligible, but they still have no money, right? It's difficult.
Is that monthly?
Monthly income, $2,829 a month is our income, Medicaid income eligibility. So it's almost double what traditional community Medicaid allows. This is PACE in Michigan. Yep, Income for Medicaid is a state regulation. Right now we only have a contract with us. But as you guys go through and have more and more PACE programs contracted to do these arrangements with, that number is going to be the same until every January of every year it changes. Because the LIS, it changes every year. Usually it goes up. So 2829 is the magic number, individually, even if they're married. Okay? If a person makes 2829 or less, they're in, okay, let me say one more thing. PACE Southeast Michigan has Department of Health and Human Service workers on site. We do all the Medicaid applications for the people. They have to provide the documents. Who in here has been part of a Medicaid application process? Keep your hand up if it was a lovely process. Right. So we do all of that for people in our program. So it usually takes, if all the documents are in, we can get it processed within a week or two. It's not a really long process to get Medicaid approved, as long as the documents are in. Annually, for the annual redeterminations for Medicaid, we also do that work. Okay? So if somebody has Medicaid or is eligible for Medicaid, we will do the paperwork, get them Medicaid approved, and they can start the first of the following month after their Medicaid approval, and they will be able to be in our program at no cost, no deductibles, no co-pays.
So that's all where I know you said that medication has no formularies.
Okay, so let's talk about medication. That's all in. A, B, D, Medicaid. Anything that would be covered by all of those is all part of what it includes. There is no formulary, back to your question, which means they come in on 7 medications. Part of the initial assessment by primary care is they say, you're on these 7 medications, just like they would do if they started with a new doctor. Let's see what's good, what's bad, but anything they're on, we can order and pay for. I'm gonna answer a pain medication and difficult medication question in a second, but hold on, let me just.
Okay, so they make that income. Are they actually having to pay out of a certain amount of their income for the PACE program?
There is no cost to be.
So then if they get $2,800 a month coming in Social Security, they get to keep all that in their
They
bank
get to-
account, but they go over 2,000 in assets?
Well, they're paying bills, they're paying their mortgage, they're paying their rent. Right now, they're currently using, let's just say it's a standard person, and I'm going in and selling them a plan of X, Y, and Z plan. It's the same idea, we're just the plan. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but I promise it's the same. We are become their health provider. The state, the government, started this program realizing that there's a lot of people that end up in nursing homes that really don't have to be. It costs the government, state and federal government, an enormous amount of money to house people and care for people in the nursing home. So they said, let's have a program. It wasn't this easy. Let's have a program that's kind of similar, that they don't sleep over, that they can stay in their home and have everything they've had in the nursing home, including the Medicaid. That's the same nursing home. The nursing home Medicaid eligibility income is 2829. Let's keep it exactly how the nursing home is and let them stay home.
I got a question. So that criteria right there, what if it's husband and wife?
Individual 2829.
Okay, so 4,000 and
If there's a non-applying spouse, there's
almost
a,
6,000, right, for both.
it's 2829 individually. It cannot be combined. So I want to make sure that if there's 2 people and one makes 3,000 and the other one, I'm terrible at math, individually it has to be 2829 or below 2829. Doesn't matter, it's individual.
So it doesn't matter who's bringing in what. So if the husband brought in 2,000, the wife brought in 1,000, you've got 3,000.
It's individual. If there's a married couple and the wife is applying, it's about what she makes. If there's a married couple and the husband's applying, it's what he makes. It doesn't matter what the other person makes, but let me just say, the non-applying spouse can keep $120,000 in assets. There's an asset, married couple asset thing.
It's like a My Choice Waiver.
Yes, it's a My Choice Waiver program. That's exactly what we are. Yep.
How large of a physician program or physician network do you have in Southeast Michigan?
How large of a physician network in Southeast Michigan. Okay, so I'm going to answer the question from an Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne County scenario because that's where we are. We are 55% owned by Henry Ford Health. We are 45% owned by Presbyterian Villages of Michigan. We are our own 501c3 standalone company. We have every single specialist in the Henry Ford Health medical group as part of our network, so that's hundreds, probably 1,000, I don't even know. Plus many others. Plus, you guys know we're acquiring Ascension?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of October 1st, I think it takes effect. We don't know what that's going to look like with the Ascension, but we do become the person's primary care physician. Let's say somebody is like, I don't want to give up my physician. Well, we still become your primary care physician. That's part of this. It's kind of like joining an HMO. But if your physician is willing to contract with us, we will allow you to see them twice a year, and we will pay them for the visit, and we pay the Medicare rate for the physician. Is that a barrier? Yes. Once they get into the program and come to the day center and realize the ease and all the extra benefits they're getting, do they ever go back to their physicians? No. Someone had asked a question about, real quick, about like meds, like, oh, if I'm on OxyContin, do we cut that? Or other drugs that people want to have. And what I would say to that is, no, if they need it, they need it. We're not in the market of cutting people's medications. If everything's on our formulary. But if it doesn't make sense and they're abusing something, that's a whole other story. Let me just answer the he had his hand up first.
I saw that the people who are not eligible for Medicaid
Yeah.
pay privately. How much is that?
Okay, we have about 1,900 people in our program right now, and we have 2 people that pay privately because it's astronomical. The amount is by county, Macomb being the most, it's like $5,000. It's still all in, but a month. It's still less than a nursing home, and it's still all these extra benefits. So it goes about $5,000. Macomb, Oakland is about $4,500, and Wayne is about $1,000. It's really stupid expensive, to be honest with you. We don't set those; the state does. I'm coming back.
What about full Medicaid? Does it have to be full Medicaid in order?
When they enroll in our program, he said, what about full Medicaid? How does that work? When they enroll in our program, it becomes full Medicaid. The only thing that can't flip over is HMP Medicaid. If they're not 65 and they don't have an income, it's Social Security. HMP won't flip over. HMP Medicaid, I don't know if you're familiar with what I'm saying, but there are a couple Medicaid programs that won't flip, but spend downs, all that, all go away. And becomes full Medicaid. Spend downs go away. Because our income, you have a spend down because it goes away because it's 2829, right?
So regardless of Medicaid status,
As long as they're 2829 or below, no. Yeah, not over 2829, thought I said it backwards. They are full Medicaid eligible for PACE.
regardless of.
With $2,000 an asset at the limit, at the most. A house, a car doesn't count. Okay, what about people who are currently going to methadone clinics? SAMHSA has a federal regulation that all methadone and Suboxone clinics must be in our network, and we cover all of them and transportation to and from the clinics.
So we check that ahead of time, or?
Yeah.
We check it. Yeah, you can just know that if they're part of a methadone or a Suboxone clinic, we have to cover it and pay for it and pay for the transportation. It's a regulation. As long as they're going to a place that's on the SAMHSA list, which I think all the rest of them are shut down. Okay? Yeah, and we would check that.
Is that commission full no matter what time of the year?
Okay, yes, can I talk about it? Okay, the commission, we're very careful here. So I just want to protect, we're trying to protect everybody. The commission is all year long. We do not have an enrollment period. People enroll in PACE all year long, period. The commission you get is just like you're enrolling a new person into a Medicare program, Medicare Advantage program. Yep, and it's exactly the same.
State Trail Commission?
So it's new to PACE is considered
New to Medicare.
Medicare residuals?
So the
Yes.
full 611 and then 626 for next year.
And stay at your facility. They have to be able to come and
They do not sleep over our facility, it's a day program. They do not sleep over our program, it's a day, but they have to have a living arrangement that's safe in the community with our support during the day. We will provide all the needs they have in the home, except we don't provide overnight care in the home. We do pay for respite if a family needs to go out of town. We have places that we're contracted with, we can have the person go to respite for a weekend or whatever. Yes.
For the SEP and sign up, can you sign up all throughout the year?
Yes, you can sign up all throughout the year. Once they're enrolled, there's no annual re-enrollment. They're enrolled.
Are there residual?
Residual payment, is that what you guys call your commission? It keeps going. Annual.
So it follows,
Same, it's exactly, if you enroll someone in a new Medicare program, it's exactly the same.
so you'll get 626, well, 611 for this year. And then if they maintain the plan, they stay in PACE next year, then you start getting renewals next year. So just like
It's
Medicare.
exactly the same. So he asked, does it decrease every month? How you have it now is exactly the way it would be if it's a PACE enrollment.
But I want to address the question. So the question was, does commission go down monthly like regular Medicare commissions do? And the answer is no, because you are receiving the full commission at the time of enrollment. So new to PACE will be paid at new to Medicare rates, not prorated. Did everybody hear that? How much are you getting paid for a PACE enrollment? Full new to Medicare commission. And you will get paid renewals the following year
At the Medicare Advantage renewal.
at the Medicare rate.
what if they lose the
Then you would no longer get paid on those.
but they don't get charged back?
From that aspect, it will follow what you would have chargebacks.
And it'll be charged back at the end of the year or through the end of?
So it runs on a calendar year, just like Medicare.
Let me ask you this, if they were once in PACE, left PACE, and come back to PACE, is that considered?
New.
Okay, wait a minute though.
If they were once,
Medicare, they're paying the full bill no matter when. That's not like Medicare, but they're charged back. It's not a calendar. It's a calendar year. Or no, year when they enroll.
if in January we have 40 people, you have 40, I'm going to do it the way I did it here. In January, you have 40 PACE participants, you're going to get 40 times whatever the annual amount is. If the following year you have 12, you're going to get 12. In the middle of the year, if we lose somebody, they're going to stop getting paid on it.
Right. So you get charged back.
If somebody dies in June,
But
you get mid,
January 1st to December 30th, it's not from when they enroll. Calendar year.
upon enrollment, you get the first amount of money.
Yeah.
Then you get annual payments thereafter. For however you guys get it paid, monthly, but, right, sorry. Wait, somebody over, yeah, sir.
So, it says you don't have to be eligible for Medicare or Medicaid, so I know one of the eligibility questions was 55. So how does that work? As far as not having Medicare, if they're not.
You don't have to be permanently disabled, you don't not have to have, let's say you're 57 years old, you don't have Medicare, and you're only eligible for Medicaid, you would come in this program, and you would sign you up for Medicaid, PACE Medicaid, and you'd be at no cost. Let's say you have no Medicaid, but you have Medicare, you can pay privately if you're not eligible for Medicaid, but nobody does because it's very expensive. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
What about commissions for us? Do we get paid on it like that? Hold on, let me answer that.
You are, if somebody is a Medicaid only, if somebody is between the age of 55 and 65 and doesn't have Medicare, if it's a referral from you, you are going to get paid as if they do have Medicare, and you are going to get exactly the amount we just said. You don't have to worry if they have Medicare, you just have to worry if they enroll in PACE as a Medicaid only. Does that make sense to you? Yes. Very good.
So you said this
This is not just Henry Ford doctors. I just want to make sure everyone can hear me because there's a couple conversations going on. We have a very large provider network. Every doctor in the Henry Ford Medical Group network, every doctor in the Henry Ford Medical Group is in our network, plus many other doctors. But I'm just trying to give you the magnitude of how many we have. Then we have so many specialists, but we do become the primary care physician. They're all at the center. The ease of coming into the center. They don't feel well, they call their nurse, because everybody has their own care team. And you're going to see this when you come through the center. They call their nurse, the nurse makes arrangements for the bus to go pick the person up, and they come into the center clinic that day. Make sense? We have bay areas that look like hospitals. Do I have pictures of those? Okay, I'll talk about this. Don't read ahead. And I'm going over a couple minutes. Okay, so I just want to pause there for a second. What does PACE do to help people? A lot of times people that are aging or frail in the community are lost to nursing homes and hospitals. There's very little activity that go on in the home. We have activities all day long in our centers. There's no medical oversight for people just living in the community. Many times we have a team of people wrapped around as a coordinated care team that help each person. We provide caregivers if there is not a caregiver present to help with dressing, bathing, grooming, hygiene, light housekeeping, and laundry in the home or laundry at the center. Talking about the medications. Oftentimes people can't afford their medications. They can't get to the pharmacy. We deliver meds to the door. Order, fill, deliver. Also, with any durable medical equipment, order, send, deliver. We have a full rehab team that takes care of all durable medical equipment, or any supplies, diabetic supplies, whatever the case may be. It's very coordinated. I talked about our food program as well. This is part of it. I went ahead of myself, but no, there's no actual enrollment period. It's all year long. What we're going to be trying to do, we have many salespeople in our sales team. What we want to do is be able to assign you a salesperson based on where your office is. Again, Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne counties, we have very specific people who handle each area. So we want you to have your own salesperson so that you can talk to them, what happened at the home visit, how's it going, why didn't they meet criteria on that level of care, what does it look like. We want to cater to you. Can you be at the home visit assessment? Yes, as long as the people say it's okay for you to be there, your client. We cannot arrange that. It has to be arranged with them. You know what I'm saying? It is extremely important for me that we follow Medicare marketing guidelines. I don't want any referrals to come to us if the person hasn't given permission. And I know that's probably obvious, but I want to say it out loud because we're really, really strict with rules. Sir?
Dental, vision, hearing benefits.
Everything.
How much in the way of dental? I mean,
It doesn't cost, there's no co-pays. Oh, you mean how much do they,
well,
cleanings, x-rays,
comprehensive.
comprehensive dental, dentures, yes,
Implants?
Bridges, crowns.
yes.
Implants?
If there's, yes, implants, yes. If it's medically necessary, but I'm going to tell you, depending on the person's age and frailty factor, most people who are in their 70s and 80s are not getting implants. But maybe for someone who's 56. But that's up to the dentist and the care team.
Is there any particular marketing restrictions around this? Like, do we follow the same
In
process as
Medicare marketing, yes.
Okay.
Medicare marketing, we have the same rule book as you guys do.
Scope of appointments, 48 hours.
Yeah, but, so, you're gonna give a referral, and we're gonna follow up, and it's happening along the way.
So you guys would
No, you're gonna give us a referral and we're gonna call the people and set up a home visit assessment. Then what's gonna happen is we're gonna assess them, say that they're eligible for enrollment, we are gonna be notified by your salesperson.
We're gonna need a what?
So we'll do one more question, and then we'll get, as you guys have more questions, we'll get them to Josh, and we'll create an FAQ and get everything out to you.
Yes, and our team is here. Some of the very detailed questions, I want you to know I've been there for 11 years and I have a lot of knowledge behind me. So it may or may not be able to be answered. My team is beyond amazing, but I just want you to know that there's a certain number of questions that have been asked that they may not be able to answer.
You said you're 100% par with Henry Ford Health. Are there any health systems you're not par with?
There are no health systems we're not par with, and I want to make sure that you heard me about one more thing. Henry Ford Health is one of our co-owners. Henry Ford Medical Group is a little different than Henry Ford Health. So if a doctor has privileges at a Henry Ford hospital, that doesn't necessarily mean they're in the medical group. There's still hundreds of doctors. I am a very transparent person. I don't want any misunderstanding, so I want to make sure that we're saying the same language. So I would hate for someone to say, oh yeah, your doctor can go to Henry Ford Health. He's in the network. We have to check for the person. Okay, if I hear something that I need to tweak a little bit just for the safety, I want you guys to be protected with your clients. These are your clients. This is your relationship. We want to be like that with you too. Okay, so it's really important for us. One more question.
So we give you the referral and you do the rest? Is that what you're saying?
That's correct.
We don't enroll, like...
That's correct. You do nothing with enrollment. It's all off your plate.
Once they enroll, then you'll be eligible for payment.
That's right. I'm sorry, there's a few hands going up, but I think we need to stop. I'm so sorry. I can send the provider directory to you.
Thank you so much, I really appreciate it.